So for the person who's addicted and can be easily triggered, may not have a job to go to, may have lost their job, can be a vulnerable population physically as well. And feeling vulnerable and isolated just gets them to focus on what's wrong in their life. And that's when they can tend to pick up and use again. Community, again, is so important to the healing process, and that physical sense of closeness and socializing. So even setting up for a meeting and having coffee with others is such a huge part of AA and NA. And when that doesn't exist, it can feel like they've been abandoned. And that's when the desire to self-medicate kicks in. So for the addict, it's hard to deal with intense emotions and feelings and realities. It's hard for anybody, but for the person who really self-medicates and gets bored, boredom also is a big trigger. And listen, when you're staying at home and sheltering in, it can be boring, right? It can feel like Groundhog's Day. You wake up and you do the same thing every day. You know, the triggers are really there. So this is a population that is vulnerable. Hopefully they will get through it. I just think about the people who just entered into their treatment and they're new to sobriety. This can be an especially vulnerable time for those people. My understanding is that AA and NA is trying to translate their in-person meetings by having Zoom or virtual meetings. And so that is working for many people. Of course, some people do better with that kind of intervention than others. So for some, they really do need that face-to-face contact. For others, they're able to get the support that they need. Of course, for drug addicts, a lot of the treatment is based on assessing whether somebody is using or not in person, having family communicate and having access to them. So there are a lot of complications that really were not figured out that maybe moving into the future, we can plan for this type of just major upheaval in their world and figure out what kind of plan and what kind of intervention would work under the circumstances. So there's a population that can translate into a more virtual world, and then there are some not so much. One of the nice things about this time is that you can really find your tribe of people that you love, who love you. So there are different ways to send love, even though there is a physical distancing. That doesn't mean an emotional distancing. So check in regularly, continue to be curious, continue to encourage, because for the addict, there's a kind of famous term that they use. Be careful wandering into your own head and into your own thoughts. It could be a dangerous neighborhood. And that's true. When somebody is left to just sit in their own fears and concerns, they tend to find that virtual black hole and it's harder to get out. So if you are a family member who has someone you love who's an addict, reach out continually, make sure to stay connected, and be very proactive about it. So I would suggest if someone is an addict and they feel or dealing with addiction and feel that their sobriety is in danger of being compromised, reach out to your sponsor. Reach out to your therapist. What's great about this time is a lot of professionals have transferred their in-office sessions to telepsychiatry, teletherapy, telemedicine, and also the sponsor is there to continue to provide support. So reach out and also use this time as a reminder, why are you staying sober? Why do you want to stay sober? It's really important to find the why and the purpose behind why you have chosen to live a healthier lifestyle.